Hey, you came. I'm so glad you're here. You're looking fantastic, by the way. What we're going to talk about today, actually, I should pause for a second and just mention if you can hear it, there is this droning sound under the video because it's under the floor. The basement's flooded. So, as a result, we have down there what I would call the BFFs. Big fans. um, yeah, so it's just the way it is. And at the end of the day, you know what? It's actually kind of a chill sound. It's like one of those things you put in your bedroom to make you get into a nice sleep. Except it's on all the time. And it's in my video. Although, I guess I could start a new type of video that is intended to put you to sleep, but hopefully you don't, because we're going to talk about some stuff. I got a message from one of the subscribers who, Charlene, I believe is the name, and she mentioned that she wants to get a little bit more Zen in her life. So I thought I would do a video talking about that, since I haven't really gotten too much into it. And I keep getting questions from people that I think they want to know more. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a little primer on Zen and kind of the so what, the why. Why is it important that you get Zen in your life? And I really think it is, actually. If you do anything, I think that doing this is going to change things for you, at least in my experience. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background. I have been I call myself a Zen guy or a Zen dude, but a Zen Buddhist, I guess, is the more correct term for probably safe to say about 40 years. I started as a kid, believe it or not, and nobody dragged me to it. It was something that kind of naturally arose in my life. And of course, back in those days, there were, not very many sources to get too much information. I grew up on a little farm, and there was no internet back then. And even if there had been, I doubt we would have had it. So I spent lots of time reading books. And then as time went on, I started, actual foundational one-on-one Zen practice. And I'm not going to get into that right now. But ultimately, you might be asking yourself, well, why would I even want to get into this? Well, science has shown, because they have done a lot of research on this, by the way, and you can read about that yourself, that a regular meditation practice of some sort, even in just small moderations, makes profound difference in your mental outlook, in the way you deal with things, with your health, and a whole lot of stuff. So there's actual benefits to it that can be found in a scientific way. But it's also something that helps you to kind of get in touch with who you are and what you are and where you are and all of the rest of that kind of thing. And for me, I meditate every day, and I bring that same type of aspect into, or at least I try, into every aspect of my life. For me, and I think you've gathered this from these videos, is what I found is when I integrate the aspects of Zen with art and various other things, that's when true transformation happens. Because if you think about it, to be good at your art, to express yourself creatively, oh my lord, I'm making up new words. To express yourself creatively, you need to really get into the moment. You need to be aware of things. You need to be able to see things with fresh eyes. And that's kind of what Zen is all about. It's about seeing things with eyes that are not discriminating, with eyes that can see the beauty of things. And I've come to understand, it's actually a rare thing. Who would have thought? It's how, I grew up and chose to live my life. Now, I will say it probably took a few decades for some of these things that I've figured out to filter into my life. And I've found that since COVID especially, the things that I've learned from Zen and from art and from a few different things, it was more important and easier to integrate it into life. So, enough of that. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. So, Zen in itself is about being in the moment. Now, how do you be in the moment? Or you might think to yourself, James, I am in the moment. Obviously, I'm watching this video. Oh, I guess the mailman's here again. Doesn't matter what time of day that I do these videos, there's always a mailman, and my dogs are saying hello to the mailman. And apparently to you. But they're living in the moment too. It'll stop in a moment. Anyways, Zen is about being in the moment. And this can be done through a whole lot of different ways. It can be done through meditation. And there's lots of different ways to meditate. And, you can use the technology that you have today, by the way. That is not a terrible thing. Like, for instance, your Apple Watch probably has a mindfulness app on it because it came with the watches. And that's a great way to get started. And it's a great way throughout your day to bring yourself back to being more present in the moment. But for me, I start my day with meditation. And not to get too much into it, because I meditate for about 40 minutes minimum every day. And the how you do it is going to vary from person to person. And first of all, I should say, don't worry that, you're a Baptist. Being a Baptist doesn't mean you can't meditate. Meditation is non-denominational. I myself am a Zen Buddhist. I could be a Baptist Zen Buddhist, by the way. Because in Buddhism and in Zen especially, it's not about religion. It's more about other things, about you in the moment and being more compassionate and all these things. It's more of a way of life, I would say, than a religion. Though the more you practice it, the more it becomes closer to religious practice, I would say, because it starts to be how you walk and talk and breathe and what you think, I guess is the best way to put it. But it doesn't have to be. Anyhow, back to what I was saying. What I would recommend if you're interested in learning how to meditate is carve out time, and I would do it first thing, to be honest with you, because I found that's the best time for most people. First thing after you wake up and, hit the washroom, then sit down and however much time you think, and I wouldn't try to go for 40 minutes right away. You might be good with 5 minutes and then make it 6 and then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10. But what you're going to do is focus on your breathing. So for instance, if we do this right now, just close your eyes. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you breathe in through your nose, let your belly button extend. So you're breathing in and your belly expands. And then you're going to breathe out through your nose too. And your belly constricts. So let's do it again. So breathe in. Your belly goes out. Breathe out, and your belly goes in. Let's do one more. Breathe in, and your belly goes out. Breathe out, and your belly goes in. Now, what you can add to that is, as you're doing this intentional breathing, breathe in and extend your belly, like at your belly button. And imagine all of the goodness in the universe is coming in through your belly button, in with that breath. And what I think to myself is that I'm breathing in all the goodness. Just that simple. So breathe in the goodness and let go of everything you don't need. And breathe in all the goodness. And breathe out everything you don't need. And breathe in all the goodness in the whole universe. And breathe out everything you don't need. And I would do that with each breath for the whole 5 minutes that you're sitting. Another way you can do it is breathe in and count 1. Breathe out and count 1. Breathe in and count 2. Breathe out and count 2. And see if you can get to 10. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Start over at 1 again. And that's one of the key things with meditation or mindfulness, is to be non-judgmental. And you're seeing how that links in with your art, because you want to have the same thing with your art, to be non-judgmental, to make it about breathing in all the goodness and letting go of everything you don't need. See? You're wondering how this goes with art. Another cool way that you can add mindfulness into your day, other than that, and you can do that anywhere, anytime, by the way, because it's your breathing. Your breathing is something that you carry around with you, and you do whether you think about it or not. And some of you might have noticed I wear these beads, if I can get it off. Not to get into it too much, but this is what it's usually called a mala, okay? And what I do with this is I focus on a recitation. So it can be anything, by the way. Say you're a Catholic, you can do the rosary and really, really focus on doing the rosary. Or if you want, and you aren't any denomination, any religion, you don't care, it doesn't matter. What I've said to someone before is focus on a word about something that you really love, like maybe chocolate chip, chocolate chip, chocolate chip, chocolate chip, or pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. And as you're doing that, really focus on that word, focus on even how it feels for you, since it's something that you love. Maybe it's pizza, maybe it's, pocket the bird. For more, Buddhist things, in the Zen sect that I belong to, you can use anything, but a common one is just the recitation of the word Amitofu, 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 Amitofu. And that's just a name of a Buddha, basically, or the name of the Buddha. And it's not that you are summoning the Buddha, it's just that you're focusing on that word, what it means, and as you do it, what I was taught is the energy of that, or the feeling of it, or the positivity of it, or the love, compassion, and all the rest, it kind of emanates from you as you get more and more into it. And what I've found is that this practice of recitation, it builds concentration, and it gets you into a deep meditative, concentrating state. And I think that's a very valuable thing. And again, it could be one that you practice anywhere, anytime. What I would say is if you can carve out 5 minutes of meditation in your day and 5 minutes to just chill out, sit in a chair somewhere and do some recitation, you're going to find some real benefits. Calm yourself down, chill yourself out, accept yourself for how you are. Because at the end of the day, you are imperfect, and so am I, so is Pocket. But we're also perfect in our imperfection. And our meditation, our Zen, our mindfulness, whatever you want to call it, it finds that perfection in that space. And what we can find is that we are more understanding of people. We're more understanding of things that happen in our life. We are easier to enable ourselves to let go of things. We're more able to process what is going on. And like I said, a lot of this really became very clear to me through COVID, through the lockdown, through my business being shut down, through my work being told to stay at home and things like that. It's really helped me out. And I found with people I know that the same thing has happened. It's one thing to have a theoretical appreciation for something, but when you're really forced to put, your practice into action, to learn to really apply the things that you know, the things that you've learned, then really kind of true magic comes out of that. Now, you might be asking, so how is this going to help my art? Well, like I said, your art is really, when you get to it, it's about being more in that moment. It's about being more mindful of the things that are around you. If you're painting or drawing a picture of that lemon, you really have to be aware of that lemon and the way the light is on it, the shadow, the colors, all of it, so that you can actually translate that onto this blank page. And what I've realized, and why I do this channel for that matter, is that is Zen. That is Zen in action. If you see it, if you want it to be there. Or you can completely mindlessly do art as well and fill your boots. But what I've found is that when I integrate my Zen with my art, and like I said, a few different things, kind of a alchemical, magical transformation happens. It's inner alchemy. It's turning, a base metal into something that's precious, into something that's gold. And that's pretty amazing when you think about it. And we have this possibility of this inner alchemical process inside of all of us. And what a cool thing is that? You've already got everything that you need. You, in fact, are already perfect, right? You just don't realize it. You're all, and not just you, everything and everyone. We're in Zen, we want to see everything is already enlightened, for that matter. So then there's nothing to chase after. It's just a matter of slowing down, breathing, and seeing life for what it is, and you for who you are. And that takes time, and it takes some effort, and it takes some letting go. And I think at the end of the day, whether we get that place in our lives where everything is okay through art alone, through meditation alone, through baking cookies, or from all of it together, I think that's a pretty amazing thing. And we're very lucky to be these awesome humans that we are, and able to do all these cool things that we do. So there you go. I hope you got something out of that. It was really fun talking about it, actually. I'd love to hear about your process. I'd love to hear, if you've taken some of this and you're trying to get it into your life. And if you'd like more videos like this, please let me know too, for that matter. And end of the day, what I think is the most important thing is that we all try to get some peace in our lives, and to be kind to each other, to be kind to all things, whether it's things like a tree, an avocado plant, where is it? There it is. A small little bird, or anything else. And it's easy to forget that we also need to be kind to ourselves. So, I think I'll leave it there. Be kind to yourself. be compassionate with yourself, and try to be compassionate and kind to all the other things in the world around you. Don't carry things around. If it's from in your past, leave it back there. It's of no value to you now. Be here in the moment. Breathe, smile, because this moment is a beautiful moment if you have the eyes to see it and the ears to hear it. Please hit like and hit subscribe and check out these other videos because I've done a bunch of them, and please say hi because I love two-way conversations. Until next time, you take care of yourself and chill out and have some fun.